Joining us right now, great to have him on the Corky's Hotline. He's the head coach of the men's basketball team, Steve Fisher. Coach, welcome back. You're on with Dave and Jeff, San Diego sports leader, XX 1090. So many things to cover. Let me ask you first, health of the team. Can you give us an update on Jamal and Garrett Green?
As we speak, Jamal is making steady progress. Exactly what that means, I don't know. Hasn't really done anything since he injured it against New Mexico. Wanted to try a little bit in warm-ups before Air Force, but just could not go. But he's getting better. Hopefully he will be ready for Wyoming. We're cautiously optimistic. And Garrett is pretty sore and stiff on that ankle. He's in a boot, but we're hopeful that that we'll have both of them.
You know, I thought what you said after the New Mexico game, Coach, was so good, that occasionally teams are just going to come in and beat you, and that looked like that was what happened Wednesday night. But I'm wondering at the end of that game, when you see Jamal, the word I used earlier was kind of skipping off, because he wasn't really limping off. It was just a little bit more. And as a fan, I'm watching going, oh, no, my heart sank. When you saw him go off in the manner he did, what were you thinking?
I was thinking, let's get another basket and find a way to win the game with or without him. But Jamal is a very tough, competitive guy. I didn't know for sure. Jamal has come back from injuries very quickly in the past. So, again, we were hopeful. Tom verbalized it as iffy, which is what I use, Tom Abden, our trainer. And iffy became no-go because of an injury. And hopefully we'll have him ready to go. And that's a case with everybody. You go through stretches where you have injuries, illness, etc., and you've got to find a way to fight through it and get your guys back healthy, and that's what we're hoping to do.
Coach, after the UNLV loss, one of the things you said was, most importantly, we have to make sure this doesn't turn into a streak. What do you say to the team right now, and being such a young team and trying to keep them up?
You have to deal with being confident. This is individuals. I have to point out what we haven't done, what we need to do, in a manner that it will not strip them of confidence. But then you have to come out and make plays to win and make important plays. And we met and watched a little film this morning, and I talked about George Allen way back when, the difference between winning and losing, success and failure is this much in his book, The Future Is Now. And he had a hand up with his fingers, thumb and index finger, about a fraction of a millimeter apart. And it is. We won 5 or 6 games the way we've lost Vegas and Air Force. So you have to find a way to win those games, and there's not much difference. And there's monumental difference between how you feel after a close victory and a close loss, but there's not much difference. And we have to get an edge about us, and we have to find a way to get a win and make plays. And that's, you can X and O all you want, but you have to make plays.
Coach Steve Fisher joins us on the Corky's Hotline. It's the Dave and Jeff Show on San Diego sports leader, XX 1090. You talked about getting together today, Coach. What's the morale of your team?
We're going to be ready to play on Wednesday. We will be ready to go on Wednesday. Nobody likes losing. We've lost now 3 in a row. We're not used to that. It's been a long time, 4 years, I think, since we've lost 3 in a row. So we want to get that feeling and taste out of our mouth. You do it by not thinking back. You remember, but you don't dwell on it. And you come out and you compete with a confidence. But you have to compete. And you have to you have to execute at both ends of the floor. Find a way to make those little things work for you, and that's what our intent is. And we've got great kids, not good kids. We've got great kids that will respond, and we will be ready to go. And we're playing a good team. We're playing a very good team who also has lost 3 in a row.
Yeah. Coach, when you sit there and you look at your team and when they're having success, a lot of the fans, and Jeff and I do it all the time, hey, where do you think you're going to be seated during March Madness? And we're trying to hopefully thinking, well, maybe a number 2 seed on the West Coast, get to be close to home, we get to travel and get a chance to watch your Aztecs. As coaches, do you guys talk about the future as far as, hey, this is where things might shape up and where we could be?
Never. We've not brought that up one time. Our goal is to make the tournament. You get in the ocean, you start swimming, you got a chance. So our goal is to be in the tournament. We don't care who, where, when. Our intent is to make the tournament.
Coach,
But I got into you got to do this to do that, and if you want to be here, that takes away from getting ready for Wyoming or getting ready for whomever you might be playing.
As Coach mentioned, Wednesday night, Wyoming in town, Viejas Arena. They'll tip it off at 7:30. What'd you take away? We haven't had a chance to visit with you since the New Mexico game. We did talk to you after UNLV, and there were so many different things that had this happened or that happened. But that New Mexico game, man, as a fan, it was tough to watch. What'd you take away from that game as a coach?
If you were a fan that did not have a rooting interest, you had to love the game. This was two teams playing tremendously hard. New Mexico now has won 7, 8 in a row, and they're as hot as any team in the United States of America. They played spectacular. Drew Garden, I made the comment after the game, Drew Garden against us played like a NBA first-round draft pick. He played against Vegas like a top 10 pick. He played sensational. And when you got that cornerstone and you play as well as they have been playing, they're a hard out for anybody. So I was proud of how we competed. I was very disappointed that we did not win a home game, but we played hard. We played really, really hard in that game, and they beat us.
Drew Gordon was on fire. You know what I took away from that game, too, Coach, as a guy who's been here a long time? We've always had a knock in this town as being fair weather fans or front runners or anything else. I tell you what, watching that game at home when you guys were down by 12 in the second half, and that crowd in Viejas Arena was doing everything they could to get your guys back in it, saying, we got your back, we're in it, we're going to get this game, we're going to win it, was one of the great things I've watched. Playoff game, regular season game, I would think as a coach you had to enjoy the support even in a losing effort.
Well put. Our fans, starting with that group in the end zone show, have been spectacular. They won't let people not be supportive and positive. They have been there for us, and we owe an immense debt of gratitude to them for how they've done it. We're going to need them all the more on Wednesday when the Cowboys come to town. But they truly have been remarkable, and we are, as I said, very appreciative.
Coach, when you look at the conference, you look at New Mexico, UNLV, you guys, obviously across the country, basketball fans all know those three teams. How does the Mountain West Conference hold up compared to the other ones?
I do believe that our league is getting national recognition. And not just the three teams you've talked about. Colorado State is being mentioned as someone that first out, last in, that sort of thing. They're playing very good basketball. TCU, as we've mentioned before, the only team to beat Virginia non-conference, beat Vegas. Wyoming has won 18, 19 games. This is a really, really good, tough, balanced, competitive league from 1 through 8.
Segment of the show brought to you by Sonic, America's Drive-In in Santiam and Vista. Coach, as we do often, we'll end on a lighter note. We had fun last week asking you about the first concert you had bought a ticket to. This week we'll ask you, what is your all-time favorite movie?
Oh, boy. Well, I'll give you two.
Sure.
How about The Godfather, Hoosiers,
nice,
and a recent one I loved. I don't go to many movies now, but I saw Help, and I love that movie too.
Perfect. Hey, Coach, it's always easy coming on after wins. It's been a tough stretch. We can't thank you enough. We'll get this thing back on track Wednesday night at Viejas.
We're counting on it. I appreciate it.